Hello again. Welcome back to another episode. We are now 51.
Yay.
Yay for us, 51. I'm Jim.
I'm Diane.
Sad. I guess we've technically hit the 3, but you and I were debating on this, the cliche of famous people dying.
Death comes in 3s. Yeah. We were trying to figure out who was next.
But you reminded me that Hayden Panettiere
Whatever. Yeah.
was I guess 1. But we're talking today, you heard probably in the promo. Going to look back at Dolly Parton's life. Also, we just lost Tim Curry, which was a shock.
Yeah.
Well, again, that's the worst part. At our age, it's more funerals than weddings. We've made that official transition. Stinks.
It sucks.
Yeah. But Tim Curry, okay, and for those that love the conspiracies, yes, Tim Curry and Dolly Parton were both born when? 1946.
1946.
And they both got the COVID shot. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's not been made official, I guess, of what Tim Curry passed away, but they talked about his declining health in the last
he had
10
a
years.
stroke
He had a
or
big
something.
stroke,
Yeah.
which, not to go down that path. So his father died from a stroke. Yes, and someone's going, oh, genetics, that proves that it's, but his father died of a stroke when when he was like 48. Tim Curry lived and didn't have a stroke until, what, the 70s? Well, let's say 68. So
Right.
again, genetics, it might have a slight bit, of a, bias, I guess, if you will, something like that. But both Tim Curry, Dolly Parton were both 80. Obviously born in the same year, 46. And the conspiracy folks are rambling on about what they call the turbo cancer, which I never heard of before.
Yeah, I hadn't heard until you just mentioned
because,
it.
they're making that connection with Dolly, who apparently had cancer at the end. Now, of course, what ultimately did her in, she had complained of autoimmune issues and liver or kidney things.
Yeah, I think I'd heard kidney and
But
autoimmune.
yes, this connection with the damn shot, and I'm not a big fan of the shot, and again, from a positive perspective, I mean, the woman did so many things outside of just country music. I mean, she had such depth, but I'll get to that in a minute. So Tim Curry, who I think we all know from at least our generation,
The Rocky Horror Picture Show.
He got his fame, though. He actually started his first original, and this is all Broadway stuff before he, turned to movies and TV, but I had no idea he was in the original London cast of Hair.
Okay.
So that was in 1968. That was, his thrust into the spotlight, if you will, then became Dr. Frankenfurter, the role that we all know from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And that was in 1973 as, again, the stage play. The movie's a whole other thing.
Oh.
That came later.
The Rocky Horror Picture Show was a play first?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
And so, it was kind of the one of the funny stories was the when he met the guy that wrote it when he was doing Hair, when Tim Curry was playing in Hair, he had wrote he'd met somebody who wrote a screenplay, Rocky Horror Picture Show, had asked him, basically it was on the premise that he could sing, and he could sing a little bit, so he read most of the script and he just interpreted the script as he was a kind of a crazy doctor in a laboratory coat. Little did he realize, little did he realize that he would turn into this diabolical transvestite,
right?
Which is, of course, what kind of makes it famous. And there are a lot of those that pay homage to they play the movie and they dress up like all the characters, and then they
and the
mouth
movie theaters,
the words, and they
dress
sing along.
up. And you have the newspaper, and put it over your head when it's raining, and
But I think for me, he was always the guy from Clue, right?
Yes,
Wadsworth. He was in Clue.
Didn't that have different endings?
That was kind of an interesting thing about that movie, and I thought it was clever as hell. It was an idea to get you back into the movies, to see the same movie more than once, because indeed they had 3 different theatrical endings for the movie, and they scattered them throughout the country. So if you had seen one, you might have seen,
One
Colonel
version.
Mustard did it versus Mrs. Peacock did it in another theater. Absolutely brilliant. Not much of a hit at the time, but of course became kind of a cult classic
classic
later.
Yeah.
And that was
Yeah, he did pick pieces of work, considering he was a classically trained actor, that he became more of a bit character.
Yeah. So again, back
Home
to
Alone 2.
Home Alone 2, he was
Yeah.
the concierge, and he was also in Annie,
Oh, that's right.
Rooster Hannigan, Darkness and Legend. I don't remember that.
I don't.
But again, it's just kind of sad that we're experiencing that time where those that we grew up with. I mean, I know we talk about this all the time. We watching YouTube the other day, and to watch David Lee Roth perform now,
he can't move his head.
It's sad. I mean, but he's still sharp. He's still there, mostly. But he was in Sturgis on a couple of YouTube videos pretending like he was riding a hog. And that went on just way too uncomfortably long.
Way too long, yeah.
and one of these days,
didn't look like a badass.
No, and one of these days I'm going to do my conspiracy about dentists and dentistry in general. How people that are in their 80s and 90s have teeth that look like they're 10.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Perfect day glow white,
neon, and the thing is, you can tell these folks are having a hard time talking because there's anyway. But rest in peace, Tim Curry, and then of course what everyone's talking about is Dolly.
Yeah.
Who sadly and quickly left us. I mean, she's in the spotlight all the time. I mean, she was always in the news, or at least it seemed like, and had her fingers in everything. Business lady.
Right. She did the 360 and branding before anybody else did. I mean, she did her music, but she understood her target and what they wanted from her. And so she did her music and did philanthropy and her businesses.
And she didn't, she didn't like to make a big stink about it, but I mean, she the whole library thing. Cause,
that was pretty cool.
And that grew tremendous. Of course, she was key to having Moderna come up with one of the first vaccines.
Yeah, $1 million.
Gave them just because she wanted them, and if you will, from her heart, was at the time wanting to help the country.
Right.
Because we all were under the impression we needed to have that vaccine or achieve herd immunity, which was never going to be possible. But anyway, yeah, the fact that she donated money that we didn't know until, of course, some of these obits were playing in the news that she had such an impact on those that suffered through the wildfires in the Smoky Mountains. Also, Helene. And much like with Moderna, she took her famous song Jolene, and when she got her shot, she was singing vaccine. But she also did that with Helene. And then, oddly enough, the next hurricane this year is going to be named Dolly.
Oh, okay.
I thought you saw that on.
No, I didn't.
So yeah, and of course
that gave me chill bumps.
But they pick those names way in advance.
Right.
That's a 10-year name list that cycles. They only take names off the list when they become noteworthy. Hurricanes. Like Helene obviously is never going to be on there.
Right.
I mean, think of the other big one. Katrina will never. Hugo and Aaron so when the next hurricane in the Atlantic is formed, it will be named.
It'll be Dolly. Well, she is a force.
Indeed. I mean, comes from such, meager beginnings. We talked about her father who, like you said, she was inspired by all he could do, considering he was illiterate. And then she, being, and the family, of course, being very religious, church, and, going to church all the time. And that's where Dolly became a singer, a songwriter, would perform in front of the congregation. I had no idea that because, she comes across not just as a prophetic songwriter, she plays any instrument that you can think of. I mean, guitar, banjo, fiddle, piano. Her nails for 9 to 5. That was where I had no idea that her clicking her nails was the typewriter sound that I thought was the tick, 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 tick. Those were her nails, not the typewriter. But she can't read sheet music. And I'm not pointing that out as a negative. There are a lot of musicians that...
you have an ear for it.
Absolutely.
Just because you aren't classically trained doesn't mean you don't have a natural ability.
No, that's pure talent. Like you said, and she's, philanthropist, business savvy, had recently come out with, and I adored the line of brownies that were part of her Duncan Hines Dolly line of
cornbread and brownies and cakes.
And then it developed into some additional, utensils for the kitchen that, kind of like Paula Deen.
Right. I'd rather buy Dolly than Paula, but anywho.
And, she's never had a misstep. If you think about how much she was always in the media, always doing something good. I guess the reason I bring that up is, mentioned Paula Deen, and it's not that that lady had any intentions of doing wrong, but, slip of your mouth and, oh my God, look what happens to you. Her career went down completely.
But Dolly said she studied everybody. She never leapt into anything. She learned as much as she could learn along the way. I don't.
She had a movie career, and it was, inspiring to a certain degree. I mean, let's face it, she in the 70s was just becoming a country star, and lands a role with, at the time, Lily Tomlin and
Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda. I mean,
those were
huge movie stars. And the idea of this idea with and Dabney Coleman plays a great character actor. I mean, he's good in whatever he does, but then she did Little House of the Biggest Whorehouse in Texas.
Oh, I remember that one.
To me, this was when Burt Reynolds jumped the shark after Smoking the Bandit 2. And I might have my timeline off just a bit, but I was never, Burt Reynolds, it was one speed. He was a, bandit. And actually, what the hell was his name in the movie? I don't know. And the whole thing with the wig that he would never admit to, and that's, the complete opposite with Dolly. She was not ashamed of the fact that
she always had a wig on.
She always had a wig, and she was,
Well, that way you never have a bad hair day.
And was never shy to admit that if it wasn't for plastic surgeons, that she was always happy to give them money. There was a famous quote. I guess Oprah had interviewed her back in the early 2000s, and she talked about how many different operations, and Parton repeatedly joked about her physical image, saying, "Hey, it takes a lot of money to look this cheap." And
that's cute.
And she went on to say, "If I see something sagging, bagging, or dragging, I get it nipped, tucked, or sucked."
Yeah.
So she wasn't ashamed, or again, she
Oh, and I
she realized what her image was.
Right.
I mean, and that
her
was
brand.
part of her, and that was part of her image. Is that look,
And we forgot about her truck stop.
Yeah, that
Buc-ee's,
was well, and that was maybe something where there was a new ride that she inspired. It was a hybrid ride. It was a Teco ride. It was you're in a car, then you're in a water flume, then you're in a roller coaster. It was a one of a kind thing, and it was at Dollywood. And at the last minute, she ended up showing up in a videotape explaining that she had some health issues. And so you look back, and of course you wonder if maybe that wasn't telegraphing it, but I mean back to her image. I think we all.
She didn't
Dolly
want people.
She
would rather give than have people worried about her. So and that's not fair, because the world loved her, but she didn't want to take away from people. She didn't. I can see why she didn't share that she was that sick. She want people worrying about her.
Yeah. And of course, being a guy for a minute, and she didn't make any. She didn't hide it. She, famous for having arthritis, right? I'm holding my hands out in front of my big boobs.
Yeah.
and she made no bones about it. That's she got them big. Why not? But what's interesting is I had no idea that back in during the 90s there was the whole sheep cloning thing. And remember, they named the sheep Dolly.
Yeah.
Why did they name the sheep Dolly? I had no idea until I'm looking to. Dolly was apparently named after Dolly Parton because the genes to create the clone came from the boob. The mammary gland of the U is what created Dolly the clone.
Huh.
I think that's funny.
That is funny.
Also, I guess in Alabama there's a famous bridge. They honored General W.K. Wilson Jr. with a bridge. It's one of those girder span bridges, but unfortunately, it actually is better known as the Dolly Parton Bridge because it resembles two boobs, two huge ass boobs. But yeah, and again, she had a great movie career. I had no idea that she was also involved in television so much. She was a co-owner of Sand$, which made television shows like Buffy
the Vampire Slayer. Okay,
I had no idea that was her thing. But as we mentioned in the promo, and some of the connections that she had to North Carolina with Helene, she was also involved with.
Yeah, she has a couple other connections too. Because I was, one of her big things is Dollywood and how huge that is, and I got something stuck in my brain. I was like, wait a minute, I think there's some connection. What am I missing here? So, I'll roll back the timeline. Here in Boone, North Carolina, up in the mountains, there was Tweetsie Railroad. It was owned by the Robbins brothers, Grover and Harry Robbins. They opened up Tweetsie Railroad. They got a couple locomotives from Alaska, and they had a little train ride, little village set up, rides and everything. And it was successful. That was in 1957. So they decided, well, let's ride the rails further down and look at a different location, which was Pigeon Forge. And they opened the Rebel Railroad in 1961. Now, this is a hoot. It was a Civil War themed park.
Right.
To celebrate 100 years since the Civil War. With a
Civil War twist or slant to it, I guess.
Yeah. So you're on this train and you have bandits. You have to try and kill the Union soldiers, and then the rebels are supposed to save you from Indians and being kidnapped by the Union. I don't know how that ever played.
Well, no, again, it wouldn't play now.
It is down south,
right?
But
it wouldn't play now, but back then it was.
Holy cow!
You didn't bat an eye at something like that, but
no, but people loved it. So eventually, they rebranded it into more of a Wild West, and it became called the Goldrush Junction in 1966. Now, interesting, after the Robbins brothers had it, Art Modell of the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, that sumbitch before he took the Browns away from Cleveland.
Yeah, he bought.
He was in business with Dolly.
No, this is before
Dolly. Okay.
So it went from the Robbins brothers to Art Modell. And then he sold it to the Herschend family. And it was rebranded as Silver Dollar City, Tennessee in 1976.
Okay.
So, and one of the trains from Tweetsie Railroad ended up there. That locomotive is still part of Dollywood Express today. So, there's that little bit of connection.
Well, you mentioned Tweetsie. That's a little railroad amusement park here in Boone, North Carolina. It
still exists today. Yeah, we went there to go see 4th of July fireworks, but we couldn't get close enough. But anywho, so, you have Tweetsie Railroad. These brothers decide, well, then let's go to Pigeon Forge, and changing of hands brings you to Dolly. But there was another location that the Robbins brothers opened up that most people do not know of at all, and it is called the Land of Oz. It was in this guy, Grover Robbins. He bought land on Beach Mountain, which is Blowing Rock, and there was a family that leased it for many years, and they decided, well, let's go ahead and create this Land of Oz, and they got a lot of the costumes from the original Wizard of Oz, and they had some of the actors come in, and
the little people,
and the little people, and they have this fantastic yellow brick road. You can see it from the aerial shots to this day.
Oh yeah, this is one of those Google Map things where we should do an episode on all the crazy stuff that people have spotted or things that you're not allowed to see. But yes, an aerial. If you Banner Elk, Beach Mountain, North Carolina, or just type in Land of Oz in Google Map and then zoom in, you'll see literally the yellow brick road.
Yeah.
From space.
From space. So they opened that in 1970. It took them, a good 6 years to get everything all situated. And they had the opening ceremony with Debbie Reynolds and Carrie Fisher.
But yeah, the Land of Oz, though, it's not a theme park that's opened all the time.
No,
this is what makes it why it's a bit, no one knows about it. Because
it was open, but now it's only twice a year?
2 months. Well, no, actually, weekends in September only.
Right. And then they had something in June. They also have, let me see, what is it called? Journey with Dorothy for select days in June to cater to popular demand. But originally it opened as an amusement park, and it was all situated around the Wizard of Oz, and they had, like I said, those actors come in and do their thing with it. And then there was a huge fire. I don't know if somebody said it. I don't know too much about it, but they lost all the costumes. Everything was destroyed, and it was just declining. It was declining after that. They added attractions before that. They did a puppet show, and and then it became this god awful tacky tourist trap. And so they ended up shutting it down for quite a bit. And it was abandoned. Yeah,
and I see. So on the 80th anniversary of the movie, that was 2019. They opened in June, July, on the weekends. Which again, normally they're only open for that September weekend stint. I mean, how does an amusement park? First of all, how do you? I guess you got to get the actors. And it's heavily attended, and it's hard to get tickets because it sells out in advance.
Right, and so it isn't a public place anymore. It's back to privately owned by the family, but there's such a longing and love for this that they decide to open it up.
In September.
Well, and now in June, but we haven't been, so that's on my bucket list of weird things to do in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we went from...
So Dolly had her finger in quite a bit of stuff and some lineage there, too.
I mean, I could tie Dolly to North Carolina, to Ohio, to... Yeah.
Yeah, she will be missed.
Yeah.
But, and maybe this is, I guess, a good segue. So recently there was, and they do this every year, right? Oreo has a bunch of new flavors they come out with.
Between Oreo and Lay's.
Yeah.
And we fall for it every time,
well, I still think my idea of a Captain Crunch Lay's, which, come to think about it, we just went to Buc-ee's again recently. I think that's what the beaver nuggets are like, a Captain Crunch sort of thing. But can you imagine with the little saltiness, like as a chip? Maybe again the chip. I don't know. It was always, but the Lay's flavors have gotten kind of weird recently. There was one with Old Bay. It was that
was fine.
I don't like
the Old Bay, but
so we officially we're gonna let you know. We're gonna live try every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And what flavors are there? Do you want to remind us of that?
There is chicken and waffles, which I love chicken and waffles, but I don't think I want a cookie that tastes like chicken and waffles. So I don't know, maybe start with that one. And then there is the deep fried Oreo flavor. It's not actually a deep fried Oreo, but it is.
And they're golden. See, here's the thing. These are all against my grain. They're a golden Oreo with the filling that's the flavor inside. So the chicken and waffles.
It is both the cookie and the filling are chicken and waffle flavored.
And the cookie, now that you're holding it up, looks like a waffle. It's not an Oreo with the Oreo logo in the middle of it.
It has it on the other side.
Okay,
mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And then the deep fried Oreo is the golden cookie on the outside. And then the filling is like an Oreo. You see the two black layers with the white layer in between. So
and that's That's one I think I'm
That's
looking
the-
forward to. And then the last one is the apple.
No,
the banana pudding. Yes.
That's the one I'm looking
Because
for.
there was an apple one earlier in the year.
Yeah, the apple pie one. That was
Wasn't-
actually decent.
Yes,
I
the
like
banana
that.
pudding. And you know how much I pander for sponsors, and so it's not like I'm pandering for Oreo, but oh my God, that would be amazing. But speaking of pandering and sponsors, I want to again thank Old Glory for giving us an opportunity to mention. They've got a great product. So part of this that I've never, I guess, really participated in from a, getting a sponsorship is I wanted to like what it is, or you don't want to. You don't want to sponsor something or spend time on a show and making somebody listen to what ultimately is a commercial, but it's not. These folks, they've got these. It's nostalgia T-shirts. It's if you look at go to their website oldglory.com, and it's
old concert T-shirts,
70s, 80s, old
pop
exactly
culture
pop
reference.
culture, entertainment. It's just cute. It reminds me. It's kind of like Spencer's, the front part of it, not the back part of Spencer's. You don't want to go back there
No,
anymore.
that's too naughty.
But yeah, it's just T-shirts,
Fun.
I think,
whimsy.
I made, there's course T-shirts, there's Red Stripe, there's, again, and all the different throwback looks, Pepsis and Cokes and Lucky Charms, and it's just, it's a neat place, oldglory.com, and we've worked out a deal with them that if you use the promo code TheWorks, 15% off.
Yeah,
So,
how about that?
Okay.
Alrighty.
I just did that because we had to stall for the, I had to get to the cookie.
Get to the cookies.
I'm not
Are you
happy.
going to twist and lick like they suggest, or are you going to do the whole
Is that
one
what
bite?
Well, so with the Oreo, this is the waffle, chicken and waffle one. So
Yes.
you're supposed to lick it?
Well, on the bag it says, twist, lick, and vote. But
Oh, well,
I'm
I'll
just
lick
going
it.
to eat it. I smell syrup. It smells syrupy.
So there's two sides of the filling, if you will, inside. There's the brown side, which truly does taste. There's actually a little bit of chicken taste in that. I swear to God. I see.
See, I just taste more like a maple-ish, golden. I guess that you have the grittiness, the greasiness taste of a fried chicken.
See, no,
Yeah.
okay, come on, seriously. There's a chicken flavor in there. There really is.
It's in the cookie.
I know. I just took a bite of it,
No, the wafer part,
but I'm
as
telling you,
opposed to the filling part.
I'm telling you, just the brown side. Anyway,
Okay.
I don't like it. It does taste like
See,
chicken and waffles.
I don't get that. If you would have given it to me and said, "What flavor is this?" I would never have said chicken and waffles.
Well, I think part of yes, we eat with our eyes, and again, part of it is that you're looking at a label that's chicken and waffles. So you're going to, in your mind, kind of try to push it over the goal line, and
Pick it.
I don't like it. Do you like it?
No.
It's not a good cookie. All
No.
right. Oh, and they're like $6 each one of these. And
They
again,
don't have as
I
they
know-
don't have as many in the packages.
And so my daughter, who likes to talk, and there was a old promo sneaking through. Sorry, there was our daughter likes to talk about shrinkflation, right? And I think there are 3 sleeves of like maybe 6 cookies in a sleeve. That's truly happened. They're expensive. It's not like and for the first time I've actually tried a thin. There was a dark chocolate ganache thin.
one. How was
really like it.
it? Okay.
I really like it.
Which is odd because everybody's always about the filling. Alrighty. Deep fried Oreo.
Okay.
Okay, I get it.
You get deep fried?
Not deep fried, but like a batter.
Oh, at the very end.
It's almost because the deep fried Oreos are warm and a little soggy, and I don't know how you get the warm and soggy from this, but you do because
It's all
deep
cooked-
fried Oreos are dipped in a batter and then deep fried, so you get that
You get
dissipation.
It's funny because at the very end, it's the end flavor that it starts out as a sweet cookie. You
Mhm.
get the inside, which again, the filling tastes like an Oreo. Again, the filling in this case is chocolate, right?
Right. The filling has both the chocolate and the icing in it.
Yeah, that one's not bad. So the deep fried Oreo, I kind of get the hint of what a deep fried thing tastes like at the end, but no.
It's not my favorite. Give me
just a regular Oreo.
Alrighty.
It's not worth it. And then the banana pudding, which I guess I should have smelled the other ones.
It smells banana.
Now, I'm telling you, the chicken and waffle one it smells. It's a dead ring. It smells like a chicken and waffle.
It does.
I mean, yes, it's got preponderance of a waffle flavor or smell to it, but that one certainly does. The deep fried Oreo, it smells like a cookie.
Sweet, sweet thing.
Yeah.
But the banana, it
that
does
has a
smell
hint
like
of banana.
It does. And then the filling in it is white and yellow. So you get, the banana and the cream in the cream.
Okay. And that one works. And for some reason, banana pudding is a big thing lately. I don't know why. But this works.
Because everybody's Southern now.
Yeah. You get a lot of banana. There's a lot of banana. But it's not right up front. Very banana-y.
Mm-hmm.
Banana-esque, I guess.
And it tastes a lot like the vanilla wafer in there, too. And you get the cream.
The banana is really, I don't want to say overpowering in a bad way. It's
a little too much banana,
but it unlike the other ones where again you're looking for a chicken and waffle flavor sort of thing, or you're looking for a deep fried Oreo, which again is kind of a generic thing. Deep fried Oreo, what does that taste? But you certainly get banana.
Mm-hmm. And I get the cream.
Yep. And that one I could eat a couple of.
Mm-hmm.
That one's not bad because I'm not a big. It's not that I don't like the golden ones. As a matter of fact, I like the lemon golden ones.
Those are
really good.
And see, now with these banana ones, I want some vanilla pudding, and I want to crumble that in it.
With Cool Whip or with Ready Whip? I discovered recently Ready Whip, that the spray one.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I had an incident years ago with, and that's another thing. Cool Whip never used to be in the freezer. I swear to God.
No, you just kept it in the freezer so it would last longer.
No. Because it's frozen. Yeah, that's another pet peeve. The Cool Whip is not. You want it, room temperature,
so it melts. Yeah.
Yeah. So why not stick it in the fridge?
I don't know.
I've never noticed up until last 10 years that Cool Whip's in the freezer. Maybe it's always been. I don't know. Oh, and isn't there one that you make with the box? It's like you whip it up.
Oh yeah. I can't think of it. But you get the beaters out. You just
we should try that. Or not.
That would be fun.
Anyway, so the cookies work. 1 out of 3. Not bad. That's
not
like
bad.
$18 for a taste test. Hopefully we
for them to sit on the shelf and go stale. But, hey.
Anyway, until next time, we appreciate it. As always, find us, drop us a note. We love feedback. Any feedback. Check out Old Glory again. The Works 15% off discount. Until next time, I'm Jim.
I'm Diane.
Another episode of The Works Live.